Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Have I got an awesome video for you all today. Today, I want to talk about timing. Timing can be extremely important. We use timing in pretty much everything. Timing to go to work. You have to be there on time. They plan on you to be there. They plan on you to get so much done each day. If there was no timing, it can affect everything. It can mess stuff up. If you're gardening, you have a prime time that you want to get in, get your seeds in the ground, a prime time you want to harvest it. You wait too long, a freeze can take everything out. You go too early, your tomatoes ain't that ripe, whatever the case may be. When it comes to silver and gold, timing is extremely important. A lot of people, I'm hearing a consistent from a lot of people now, new people that are saying, I'm too late. I got in too late. I missed the opportunity. When you plant a garden and you see other people's gardens coming up, maybe they started it indoors. Maybe they put the seeds in, right at the prime time. But a lot of times you can plant your seeds a month later. It doesn't mean you won't get anything. It just means it'll be a little later. And yeah, you are cutting it close, but you still get a good crop. And with silver and gold, I think you can still make a really good profit. Now, I know some people out there want to say with precious metals, you don't really profit. You're protecting your wealth, and to a certain point, I understand where people are coming from when they say this. But on the flip side, yeah, you're making a profit still. I mean, it's better than not investing it. If your intent is, I'm going to buy it, and when it doubles in price, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to make a profit. I mean, that essentially is the definition of a profit. Not everybody is buying it just to hang on to it till they're old and gray. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you enjoyed today's video, please help me out by hitting that thumbs up button. I do expect to be putting up that video where I want to show the prizes for the membership for December. Some of y'all know I'm giving prize selections this month. And if we hit 100 members, I do expect that we're going to do a bigger event, so it's going to be a lot of fun. That video should be going up here shortly. I know I want to give people time to see it, and there's some people out there that are really on the fence. They're like, hey, if I have a shot at winning something cool, I think I'm going to become a member. But being a member in and of itself is awesome. A lot of cool perks. Your comments go right to my phone. You pretty much always see a reply to every one of your comments, which is cool. And I'm really big on replying to comments. And it's just I wanted to put the video up last night, but with everything going on, I've been pushing myself a little too much by trying to get morning videos out, trying to get evening live streams or short videos out. And today probably won't be a super long video, but I think you guys are going to love it. So with that being said, let's jump right in and let's take a look at what's going on in silver. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. Not anything major. I mean, we're down, 40, 50 cents as of right this minute. We talked about this, though. Silver right now at $57.88. We got a Fed meeting that starts up today. Yeah, today, 8 and 9. They'll probably be giving out the Fed minutes on a rate cut on Tuesday. I expect they will try to strengthen the DXY. A good chance we'll see the DXY probably even go over 100 before the Fed announcement. Right now we're at 98.90, down a little bit, but not anything major, a tenth of one, so 0.1 basically. Nothing major, and I think that's okay. It's good to see dips. If you're keeping your eyes open for dips, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I mean, last night, I don't know how many of y'all saw this. I'm filming this at 10 o'clock at night roughly, but we seen something interesting right here. When the market opened, we seen a drop, and then it started coming up. We've seen it start gradually coming down, but then we've seen another big drop right here. It went all the way down to 57.50. Now, that means there's not much slowing it down between 57.85 and 57.50. So if they just decide to keep trying to beat the price down, I know some people want to say, oh, it's manipulation when the price goes down, but when the price goes up, it's normal market. Here's the thing. When you see huge drops instantly fall like this, that is a lot of trading in one instant, 1 minute essentially, to have that much trading. And when you look at the volume, you're seeing really abnormal volume in certain parts of the day. You're seeing huge chunks where it's way above all the other regular trading. So that's what a lot of us look at. And when we call manipulation, I'll be honest, silver is going to go up, silver is going to go down. Anything can happen. But to think now, when I talk to people, I'm hearing people say, dude, I wish I had listened to you the first time, or I wish I'd gotten in when I bought that 1 ounce of silver, or that 10-ounce bar. I mean, I wish I had just gotten in a whole lot more, but I got into this, I got into that. I wanted to be diverse, and it just so happens that silver, I didn't put as much as I would have liked to. Here's the thing. I don't believe people missed anything. I really don't. As of right now, with silver doing a good job holding, I mean, we're seeing some extreme volatility. I mean, last month, what happened? Let's take a look. We've seen silver go from $54 all the way down to $45, $46. That is extreme. Yes, if you had gotten in at prime time, it would have been great to have gotten in at $20. But a lot of people didn't. And that's water under the bridge. If you plant your garden at prime time, you get it in, and you're a month and a half before the first frost or freeze, you still got plenty of time. And some people will plant stuff late. They'll hope for the best. If a freeze comes, they know they got to get out there. As soon as they start calling for a freeze, you get out there and you pick your crops, and hey, you didn't do as well. And the same thing happens with silver. I mean, yeah, if you had got in at 20, it'd be great. We're almost sitting at 60 now. But even if people get in right now at 57, 58, there's still opportunity. If we go to 100, you didn't double your money for say, but you know what? You still got a pretty nice profit, a 66% profit from 60 to 100. I think, if I did the math right in my head. So there's opportunity there. Now, yes, I know 500% profit is not going to be as good as a 60% profit, but it's still nice. A 5x move on your money is great, but a 50, 40, 50% is nice. And here's the thing. When a lot of us say $100 silver, we don't think that's the top. We don't think that at all. Some people say that number because it's conservative. It's conservative. Like, hey, if you plant a tomato plant, you're probably going to get, 8 pounds of tomatoes maybe. That's conservative. But you know what? You could get 10, 20. Who knows? You could pick them. You got small ones coming up right behind large ones. Maybe you're hurrying up. You're picking them early. You're taking really good care of your plant. Maybe you got the Miracle Grow on it or the good fertilizer. I've used all kinds of stuff. I've gone out to the bait stands and collected fish carcasses at one time, put it in my garden, and it really put the nitrogen in the garden to where I just up my produce count. A lot of people just think they're late to the party. They think they're going to miss out. Stacking silver is a long-term thing. When you look at the charts on silver, all the way back, I mean, can you imagine when silver was sitting at 55 cents and it just all of a sudden 55 cents and then it jumps up to $3, $4? A lot of people out there, they're like, oh, my word, we could have bought some. But people still didn't understand what was really going on with silver. The writing was on the wall. Let's be honest. When they took silver out of money in 1964, that should have been a giveaway for a lot of people that something wasn't right. And it still took a couple years before it really set in. I mean, right now, if you're following the whole penny issue, they've already taken copper out of the penny. Now they're deleting the penny altogether. Now that tells me that we're in trouble, because if you can't even make a zinc penny now for a penny, that means that the money is about ready to be printed to oblivion. And the more money they print, the more everything is going to go up, whether that be silver, gold, copper, the food you eat, the junk that you buy. And that's right. I said junk, and I said it intentionally, because a lot of people buy stuff that they don't need, and they buy it to impress people that really don't care. I mean, in general, they don't care. How many people see, whatever you are buying, miscellaneous junk? A lot of people don't understand. I was actually talking to someone the other day, and I was telling her that one of the things I want to maybe consider doing, I've been on the fence of wanting to maybe open a restaurant, buy a restaurant, something like that. And she said, "Where is this coming from?" And I said, I don't know. I kind of want to prove something to myself, to something. I don't know. And she's like, "You've never been a materialistic person. You're just kind of like a whatever person. You like investing your money in different stuff, and you're not a showy person." I think that now that you've been talking with a lot of people about precious metals, I help a lot of my friends with it. And some of my friends are pretty successful. And now that they've invested in precious metals, they're probably even more successful. And, you hang out with these people and they get a lot of nice things. And maybe you start looking at your stuff and saying, how come I don't buy this or buy that? I kind of sometimes wonder if I'm trying to invest everything for the future. Like I said, I've told you guys before that I have one friend that he's always like, "Dude, what good is investing in the future? I mean, and then if you pass away tomorrow." To a certain point, I agree with that. But you need to always keep your head on straight. A lot of the stuff we're buying, why are we buying it? Why? When it comes to gold and silver, I believe, it's not financial advice, it's my opinion, that it's a solid investment. It's always going to have value. It is a true nest egg. I literally believe that $1,000 silver, $1,000 in silver today, and you could see some astronomical price jump. I don't think you're going to see it tomorrow. When I hear people say $500 silver, is that possible? I've heard some people make claims that silver and gold are going to be 1-to-1 ratio at some point. I mean, anything is possible when the dollar collapses. But generally, they've got tricks up their sleeve to prevent the dollar from collapsing. Don't think the whole dollar is going to be worthless overnight. And in that world, a world where silver shoots up to some crazy number, I don't see 1-to-1 ratio, but I do see it going extremely high. And I see it a slower road, but is 100% in a year slow? Let's be honest. What did we see so far this year? 102% is what we're at right now. That's not slow. I mean, if we see that again next year, we could see silver at $120. And that just blew the $100 expectation out the window. And then if you see it again the year after, it takes us to $240. And we're off to the races. Now, some people think, there's no way that could happen. I think the 100% that we saw was pretty modest. I really do think that. And the reason I think that is with some of the tricks and some of the stuff that's happening right now. If they had to shut the COMEX down for overheating, think about that for a minute. They shut down the silver markets because the computer overheated. With all the redundancies, something that's traded worldwide, you expect us to believe that a computer overheated, and so they had to shut the markets down for 5 or 10 hours. I don't believe that at all. I think that something was going on, and they were like, "Oh, shoot, shut the market down. Shut it down now. We'll figure it out after." And that's what they did. And now, yeah, they figured it out. All they did was kick the can down the road. Eventually, people are going to keep buying silver, I think. And eventually, they will have one of two things. Either they will have to raise the price to slow the buying, or they will have to essentially just let the whole inventory just get wiped out. And then there won't be any silver, and then who knows what would happen. Now, what would happen? Can you imagine that? If all of a sudden big companies like cell phone providers, like not T-Mobile, whoever makes the Samsung, whoever makes the cell phones, all of a sudden they can't get silver to make the cell phones. They'll be making deals with places like Mexico, the mining companies. Hey, we want all your silver. And everyday people that want to invest in silver, here's the thing. You think that's going to be the only source of silver? What will happen is the delivery companies, the COMEX, stuff like that, they will reach out to the bullion companies and they will pay whatever, the refiners. They'll pay whatever they got to pay to get their silver, enough silver. And that's why we've seen some stuff slow down in purchasing. Remember when we stopped seeing the 92% silver or the 90% silver getting bought? Why was it stop getting bought? Think about it. Because they wanted people to flush the bigger silver out so they could get the silver as quick as they could. And it worked to a certain point. I know one friend that he sells to refineries, and all of a sudden 10-ounce bars, he wanted an arm and a leg for them. He said, no, I'm sending them out, bro. I can't give you any breaks on them right now. He goes, you want some 90% silver? I can give that to you really cheap because they're not even buying it now, which means I got to buy it for less because I could get stuck sitting on it. If you've got a little extra money, I'll sell it to you cheap. But I can't do nothing with 10-ounce bars. I need all I can get right now. They're paying high premiums. Why? Because they needed a lot of silver. They're not going to get a lot of silver and then try to refine it down the 90% to 999. The easiest way was just pay up a little bit more for the pure, the bigger bars, that type of stuff, and that's it. Once they made delivery, once they got their ounces, well, back to business as usual. Let's buy whatever we can get. Just keep buying it, keep working it. As for premiums, start paying down a little bit again. Go a little lower. We'll see who's willing to sell to the refineries at 50, 52, whatever. Find the magic number where we can keep taking in stuff. We can pay whatever we want for 90% because a lot of these places getting stuck with it right now. That was our opportunity to pick that up. I've seen so many trends. I've seen 90% get hated. I've seen it get loved. And then I've seen it get hated again. And then I seen it get destroyed when they weren't willing to buy it. And now it's slowly gaining love again. Will it be absolutely loved? Probably not anytime soon. Just because we just had that severely hated window where people couldn't even sell it. But I can tell you right now, if I can pick up some silver dimes, silver quarters at a cheap price, I pick that stuff all I can. People just don't understand what's going on. And for the people out there that think they're too late, I don't believe you're too late at all. But this is not financial advice. I have to say that because maybe we are too late. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe silver is going to be right back at $20. I don't think that for a minute. But you got to understand, the stuff that I say on here, I have to put disclaimers on here. Because if I'm not telling the audience, someone might think, oh, I thought he was a financial advisor. I'm not. I'm a nobody. Just a guy that believes in silver and looks at the charts. And when I look at a chart like this, and here's the thing. A lot of people look at this chart and they see this right here, these peaks, these two peaks right around $48 and $50. And they think, okay, so we're going to see this again over here. We're now at 57, so now we're going to see it plunge. There's a big difference, though, between this peak, and this peak. What is the difference? Well, look where it started, first of all. Literally we had silver peak out at 1980. Literally in 1979, 1 year prior, we had silver at $5. It went up 10x in 1 year. Think about that, 10x. That would say that silver, and understand what 10x means. If silver was to 10x at this moment, which the 10x has already started, I believe, but let's just say, if silver was to 10x at this moment, we would have $578 silver. But I'm convinced the 10x already started. I think it started around $30. And some people will make an argument and say, no, it started at 20. Maybe. But let's just say maybe it started at 20. What's 10x? That's $200 silver. But here's the thing. Remember, this happened in a year. A year. 10 times the beginning of the year. I mean, that would be crazy if next year was another 10x year. Now, here's the thing. Take a look at 2011 when we went to $50. In 2010, we were at 15. So same thing happened here, but just a smaller ratio. I mean, here we only saw 3.5 times. But what happened after this hump right here is we put tons of money into the system. We flooded the system with money. And we flooded it with paper contracts. That's why when you look at the, U.S. debt clock. I don't have it open. U.S. debt clock. When you look at the U.S. debt clock, that's why you see so many paper contracts for every 1 ounce of physical silver. Paper to silver ratio right now is 357. 357 people think they own an ounce of silver, and they don't. Only one of them owns it. Boom. With gold, you're talking 141 to 1. Not as bad, but still bad. When people decide they want physical silver for whatever the case, they think right now that, hey, I can just get delivery. But that's not a guarantee. There's not enough silver out there to deliver to everybody. And I'm sure the rules of the game will change. And some people will have it, and some people just won't. And then price will determine everything. And we've heard this time and time again. When the day comes that people need physical silver for whatever the case may be, price will determine everything. How much are you willing to let your silver go for? Would you let your silver go for $100? If spot price tomorrow was $100, would you let it go for $100? If spot price tomorrow went up to $500, would you let it go for $500? But keep in mind, prices on everything else is skyrocketing. A loaf of bread that might cost $2 could be $10. You know, a lot of people will miss out. The good news is a silver dime will probably always buy you a loaf of bread. Almost always. It always has. It always will. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Running through the numbers, we got gold sitting at $4,208. Again, we've seen it get pushed down, sitting right around this level basis. It was as high as $4,260 earlier. We got Bitcoin right now taking a little bit of a jump from where it was, sitting at $91,079 right now. The DXY, we already talked a little bit about this, sitting right around 98.9. And I think we will see this have an uptick as we get closer and closer to the Fed meeting. This is going to be a super interesting week. A lot of people are watching what the Fed is going to do next. If they decide to roll out lower interest rates, a lot of people aren't going to want to invest in any kind of treasury bonds. If treasury bonds start getting dumped, where are people going to put the cash that they take out? That's what's going to be interesting. But I think the pressure to lower interest rates to help the economy is extreme. And so there's a chance they will cut interest rates. And that will be it. It will just continue on spiraling. There's no end in sight to the amount of money that we owe now. We're at $38,450,000,000,000. I don't think we'll necessarily hit 39 trillion now. Looking at the chart, it did have a slight slowdown. It looked like we went a few days with no big movement, but we've also had periods where we have all of a sudden a big jump. We go up by like 100 billion. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. 39 trillion is right around the corner. You know, don't think that it's not. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out on that. Tariffs, obviously, you know, right now they want to discuss the Supreme Court if tariffs are going to be upheld or if they're going to put a kibosh to this and stop it. What could happen? I mean, if tariffs got canceled instantly, it would be crazy to see what could happen in the stock market. I think people could try to challenge literally suing the government for all the money that they paid into tariffs. So I don't think they're going to cancel the tariffs necessarily. I think they may just say, yeah, we'll let it go, but we want you to stop from this current moment. But that's it. So it's going to basically just see what, all we can do is just see what happens, how Tuesday plays out. And with that being said, please be sure to check out some of my other great videos. Like I said, I am trying to up my content and try to show a little bit more. But remember, timing is everything, but it's not the end all to the be all. You can still get in now, I believe, and still do very well with it. You know, it's the difference between the farmer planting on time, a little bit later, but don't worry about where we're at right now. So that's just my opinion, not financial advice. Thank you so much, all of you, for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again probably this evening with a really cool short. Don't be surprised to see that prize video go up pretty soon. Just trying to push myself to get more content up for you guys. And thank you, special thank you to all the new members that had joined. We're trying to get to 100 members, and we're going to post some really cool prizes. So thank you. Have a great evening. Have a great, I should say, a great Monday, a great week. Like I said, I'm filming this a little early. I'm filming this at 10 o'clock. Since I've cut down on sodas, I've cut down on carbohydrates. For some reason, I'm not as tired in the middle of the day, but at the end of the day, I seem a little more tired at a reasonable hour. Whereas I used to have a big carb meal and go to bed, and that was usually at like midnight, 1 in the morning. I know that's horrible. So needless to say, thanks all, and I hope y'all have a great day. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody, or tonight. Bye-bye.